You doing?
Yeah, it's Barry.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for coming up.
Oh, no problem, no problem at all. So, actually didn't bring one of business cards with me, but
That's all right.
Yeah, I talked to Mr. Shear, and he asked me to come up just to kind of go through what we do when we inspect.
Yeah, that'd be really good, because then I could check out rooms when I go in, whether it's here or elsewhere. That'd be really helpful to me.
Sure. I don't know how much he went through with you, but when I travel, like I just went on vacation with my family, a couple weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago. Go in. I don't put my luggage right on the bed right away. Try to put it like on the luggage rack or the side of the room.
Yeah.
I go and check out the bed, check out everything first before I get my stuff all the way.
Awesome.
They can be like little hitchhikers. If they're in the bed, they can crawl into your luggage. That's how people kind of carry them from home to somewhere else or somewhere else to home.
Right. Okay.
So that's kind of how it moves around. So that's usually what I do is keep the luggage just kind of off to the side until I'm kind of sure.
Actually, I did that today because I heard that, and so I used that little rack there, and I put the luggage on there, and then I hung my stuff, and then I put the luggage, I didn't even put anything in the drawers.
Yeah.
Can that be a problem too, the drawers?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. They like to hide. They like to hide in little nooks and crannies, usually in cloth, like fabric areas or wood. Over here, they're not gonna. What they do is they come and they bite you like a mosquito would, and draw some blood. So that would be kind of a long hike for them to live here and to come over here and then to go back.
Unless someone had their pajamas on and then they put their pajamas there.
Right. Okay. It could be a kind of a temporary place for them to be. They normally wouldn't, kind of harbor over in that area.
Okay.
They kind of would make, kind of hang out over towards the bed as their permanent place to be. But when I come into a room, what I do is we just kind of pull back everything. The pillowcases and everything. Those are changed every day.
Oh, okay.
I've not seen any that hang out inside, a pillow per se. But you're free to obviously look through the pillows and.
What am I looking for?
Yeah, like I said, I've never seen one in a pillowcase, but they would kind of they look to find like little nooks and crannies.
Oh yeah, the seam there.
Yeah,
okay.
They would probably hide in a seam. But these are changed every day, so these would be
probably
not in there. But,
yeah. Okay.
But
I mean, like if you wash something, they're dead, right? I mean, they're not going to live through a wash cycle, right?
If it's hot water.
If it's hot water.
Yeah. Hot water.
Okay.
Heat kills them, or extreme cold kills them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And so another place, if you don't mind, do you want to step over to these?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Another place we look. Most hotels, their headboards are removable off the wall.
Oh.
And so can you lift straight up first, and then it'll come out.
Oh, I never knew that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not all hotels, but most it's mounted on the wall.
Okay.
So we look on the headboard because that's would be very close, obviously, to the bed, and that would be where.
So you're looking right in the crack there.
Yeah.
Right?
Looking in this crack here.
Oh, okay.
Just even on the top.
Yeah.
And
now, am I looking for bugs or eggs? Or poops?
Any of the three.
Okay.
The eggs are very tiny white specks, and if you wouldn't really see eggs unless there was other activity of adults, that were there laying eggs.
Oh, okay.
So the most common telltale signs would be the poop, which is like a round black, almost like a poppy seed.
Okay.
Perfectly round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And they would be, just kind of scattered around.
Okay.
And then the bed bug itself is kind of the size of maybe like an apple seed.
Oh, okay.
It's very slim. It can get into cracks. So it's not like fat like a ladybug.
Yeah.
But it is. Get all over. So that's an adult, and they're reddish brown in color. When they're born, they are very, almost like see-through. I mean, they're real tiny, like the little babies are almost translucent. And then when they eat the first time, they basically, draw some blood, and then they turn like a reddish brown color, because they're eaten.
Yeah.
Right. So then what we do is we pull back the bedding. So just go ahead and
on the whole thing, right?
So this is just a little piece of fuzz. actually blood. And so if one of them gets smashed, you know, it will be like a little blood
Oh, okay.
smear.
It's like hitting a mosquito.
Yeah,
You get the
exactly.
blood out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you rolled over or tapped one in your sleep and it want to pull this back
Oh, yeah,
a little
sure.
bit, back, you slide it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like that. That's what we're doing. Now we
Oh, yeah, you pull the whole thing off. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like a.
is a mattress topper.
Mattress
Yeah, it's
topper,
an extra
right,
padded
okay.
mattress topper.
Okay.
So then even, you know, on your home mattress or whenever it puts up, see all these little, you know, around the ticking,
Oh,
this extra
yeah.
little fabric?
Right.
That's where
So they would hide in those little
yeah,
crannies.
They would get in those crannies, that's where they hang out.
Okay,
And then when they feel the body heat, they would come out
Oh.
and bite you to get a meal,
Yeah.
and then they go back and hide.
Right.
And so it's kind of gives you the willies sometimes to think about it, but once you check and you don't see any activity, then you know you're good to go. And then we also look, you know, on the top edge of this, and you know if there's activity, you see a little excrement, you might
Yeah.
see some blood stains. You know, and so our staff, our daily housekeeping staff, is trained. We have a DVD, not DVD, but a PowerPoint presentation. We go through training with them
Okay.
on the signs of, you know, either an adult or a baby or, you know, the eggs, and what to look for when they're changing, when they're making beds and changing sheets. And with these white sheets, anything on there, if it's, you know, sometimes it could be lipstick or fingernail polish or anything red on there.
It's gonna
they,
pop right
yeah,
out,
they,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
red or brown or black. They call their manager. They took a good look at whatever that might be. Let me make this for you.
Okay.
Here. And so they, yeah, they would call their manager and we take a look. And then call in Terminex as our pest control company. You know, and they come in and give us
Yeah,
clearance that the
pretty
room is good to
thorough
go.
process.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and our engineers are trained, as well as our housekeepers and inspectors. They're in the rooms all the time also on what signs to look for. And so it's on everybody's, you know, radar that we're keeping very vigilant for it because, you know, this room I check it right now.
Tomorrow.
You
it
check
could
out
be-
tomorrow, someone else checks in, they could have something on their luggage. And you just leave something and then it's, there we go again.
There you
So,
go again, right.
Yeah, so you just,
It's got to be a big cost for a hotel business, right? Because you're replacing beds all the time, and everything, right?
It can be, yeah. I mean, if it's the trick, if it happens, is to catch it right away, and so it doesn't spread to other rooms or become a big problem.
Right, right.
Yeah, so that's what we've been very successful with. Is you can't prevent it from coming in or traveling on people.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they can walk through like a
Like a drum
sprayer.
strain, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think people would enjoy that. Checking in, okay, let me examine
right,
your
yeah,
luggage
yeah.
and everything. You know, but if something comes in, find it quickly. You know, isolate the room, treat the room,
Right.
and make sure there's absolutely nothing in there before we resell the room. That's very important to us.
Cool. So now I know how to check the bed. Should I just also, like when I check in, take a quick peek in the drawers just in case
Yeah.
anything was
Yeah.
transmitted here?
Sure.
So I'd be
Yeah.
looking for the same thing, right?
Yep. Like they would, you know, in the little corners.
Oh, the
you know,
corners, right, yeah, okay.
Corners. It
Hide
would be
out
kind of
there.
a brownish red. You know, you can collect some dust. You know,
Yeah, of course,
stuff
sure,
like that.
yeah.
But
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you'd be looking for. And you're right, if it was on somebody's clothes, it might drop in there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hang out in there too long because it would come out for a meal.
Yeah, I realize
Um,
there's nothing to eat in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you know, the other thing is, actually on the luggage rack itself is a good place to look.
Oh, right,
Because
yeah.
they're wood and cloth, and you know, if it's on someone's luggage, they could sometimes get into there.
Oh, yeah, so before you even put it on there.
Yeah, just hanging out in there. And some hotels have the metal luggage racks. Those
Oh, right,
don't
right.
look as classy as this, but
Less places to hide.
yeah, less
Right.
places to hide. So we look at that. We look, you know, more often than ever seeing one here. would be here in the nightstand. It's right by the bed.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so we pull this out
Okay.
and we look, you know, in these, all these nooks and crannies.
yes, right, right.
Yeah, all in there, and even picture frames.
Really?
Yeah, they could go up and they could just be in the picture frames. Now ours are mounted, you can't really take them off.
But you look in here like
Yeah.
along that crack.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Wow.
and so, that shouldn't be coming off like that.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay, it's just kind of like, wait, I shouldn't do that. Yeah, so. All right, let's see some.
Wow, that's great.
Here's on the plug.
Yeah, so Cincinnati's got like a bum rap with the bed bugs.
You know, it's, yeah, it's obviously not an issue that's isolated to us, but we have gotten a lot of press on it. Now, I can't explain why, but, you know, it's just something that, you know, I think is important that people traveling to and from here understand, but then they know that, you know, no matter where you go, like, when you're leaving here, going somewhere else, you can't think, oh, I'm cool, I'm out of Cincinnati, it's not gonna affect me
Right.
now, yeah.
But I go to Hampton Inn in New York and whammo.
Right.
I mean, if everybody got this type of briefing, I mean, that's fantastic. Because then eventually we could eradicate it if everybody was checking.
Exactly.
Because you really gotta nail it.
Exactly.
You know.
And that's why Mr. Shearer and I, you know, don't mind spending time with, you know, with travelers that have concerns or questions, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, we wanna show you what we do and what we know and try to educate everybody else like what to look for, what signs to look for, and
Definitely,
you know, what's important, how to handle your luggage. I've even seen some articles where people, I think it might be a little paranoia, but people travel with large plastic, like, you know, trash bags, and when they get into the room, they wrap their luggage in the trash bag, you know. So it's you know, there's nothing can get into it or penetrate into it, you know.
Right.
I haven't seen anyone actually do that, but I've read articles where people are like, if you want to be sure, nothing gets in your luggage, you know, you can do that. But
That's great, but you still gotta do this.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you do.
If you do that, but you don't do this.
Yeah. I guess it's a small step to take. It would save you a huge headache from something getting into your luggage. But
Yeah.
I've never done that. I just check the room, and if it's good to go, it's.
So that's what you do when you travel, you go through the same type of process,
I do the same thing.
right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And my wife is like, come on, let's go. I'm like, no, you know, let's check, you know. So I don't want to take anything home. And so it's definitely worth, you know, spending 5 minutes just checking out the room.
Yeah.
And if you see something, you know, just like that piece of fuzz, you weren't sure what it was, you call the hotel manager, housekeeping manager, whoever, come up, take a look. I want to be sure before you know, put your head down for the night.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Well, this was awesome.
Well, good.
Thank you
Well,
so
very
much.
good.
Really appreciate
I hope
it.
you enjoy your stay. Let us know if there's anything else we can do.
Absolutely will.
Okay, great.
All right.
All right,
Fantastic.
thank
Thanks
you.
again for stopping up.
No problem.
All right, take care.